Hey, what's going on? Tyler Austin here, founder and CEO of REISift, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about powerful data, the data that you need in your business, that you need to get on a sequence, on a schedule, on a timeline to make sure that you are never losing or leaving a prospect behind. So let's get into it. All right, so powerful data. Powerful data is one of the key fundamentals into making sure that you are building a healthy pipeline. And I'm gonna tell you something that nobody else will tell you. There's only two keys. Two. I like these ones because I got tattoos on my fingers like a nerd. Okay, the two keys to a healthy lead pipeline, very simple. You have to think, how can you build something that continues to evolve as their leads? So let's give an example real quick. If I were to call somebody who has high equity, right, and I would reach out to them and say, hey, I was just interested to see if you might be looking to sell that property. And they say, yeah, maybe in like 6 months or so or whatever. Between now and in 6 months from now, what's gonna change? If nothing happens in his life, then nothing's gonna change, right? He's still gonna have equity, he's still gonna be interested in maybe selling, but there's nothing that's making them need to sell between the time frame of when you spoke to them first and when they said 6 months. So therefore, what you need to do is you need to try to build a pipeline that's balanced, right? That has things that are needing to end up happening. So that's why the two principles are really straightforward. Think about this. Time is urgency, okay? And money is need. Time, urgency, money, need. What do I mean by that? With time, if there is a ticking time bomb, right, that means urgency, right? Like if you've ever seen the show 72 Hours, right, there's an urgency. There's 72 hours. We need 72 hours or else all hell breaks loose, right? If it's going to tax auction in 2 weeks from now, that creates urgency. It gives the seller urgency to need to have to work with you, which is why money is a huge factor on this, right? Because if they had money, if they had this, then they would not need you because they would create their own time with their own money. See, your money creates time for the seller, right? So with these two things combined, you create urgency and need, therefore creating a pipeline that allows you to stack up all those problems which are slowly expiring, right? To where they need you. The only thing missing from that is the proper lead management to make it happen. But in this video specifically, we just want to make sure that we're bringing these types of individuals in. And see, what happens is everybody has an issue like trying to find these people. And I'm not quite sure why, because it's pretty straightforward, right? Like if you can easily lay down in your bed and say, okay, if I was a seller, what would make me not be able to fall asleep? I know the things that make me not be able to fall asleep, right? And I'm sure you know the things that make you stressed out, like trying to find a deal, right? You might like wait up like, oh man. So if I was a guru, right, and I knew that you couldn't fall asleep because you can't find deals, what would I do? Well, I would, create time, okay, which would give you urgency, and I would save money. So let me phrase that as something that would make sense. Make $60,000 in 30 days or less to save your mortgage or to save, to change your life, right? So have you ever noticed that when gurus or other marketers are marketing, there's always something associated with time and money? It's like, okay, you can do this in this small amount of time, and you're gonna get this result, and your life's gonna be totally different. Okay, you're doing the same thing, right? Because what we're doing is we're appealing to the inner human nature, right? That we need to things now, and we need things solved for us, okay? So, time and money. So how do you find these individuals? Like, what do you do? Well, pretty straightforward. The very first thing that you need is location. The second thing you need is a source. And the third thing you need is a schedule, okay? And you want to try to make sure that you are, that you're essentially first to market, okay? There's something called first to market. Let me just scroll down just a little bit here. We'll put it on here. First to market. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Really simply, I mean that you need to be the first person that knows about the problem. You want to build a system in your business to where you can intake data into your company at a consistent rate, so that you can make sure that, okay, this month or this week, we've got this many prospects in, we've reached this many, and this is how many we couldn't find numbers for, so we're gonna send them direct mail, or maybe it's the reverse of that. or whatever the case and scenario is. But you got to intake that data weekly, be first to market to those people that have both time and money problems. So you have urgency and need, right? But you're still going to have other data that this relates to. It could relate to your high equity data, where it's just that tier 2 data. If you have any questions on that, watch the data priority pyramid video we have on our YouTube channel. But it could be like just straight high equity. You might be getting that just quarterly, right? Or every 6 months maybe. But the situation still is the same, right? You got to be first to market. You want to be the one having a system in place to make sure you're getting that information, the updated information, as quickly as possible without sacrificing insight. I will leave that as a caveat, right? You want to get it from the source as much as possible, all right? So that's why I say location, source, and schedule. So what we're going to do in this video, okay, or the next phase of this, is I'm actually going to ask Mason, who is behind the camera right now, a location, okay? I'm going to find the source, and I'm going to find the schedule, and we're going to actually call them and do this reel for a place that I have no idea what he's going to say. So let's go ahead and do that now. What's my location, Mason?
Casper, Wyoming.
Casper, Wyoming. So I'll have my laptop here so you guys can see. I don't know if it's in frame or not. So we're going to do Casper, really fucked me on that one. Casper, Wyoming. So the city of Casper. So apparently that's a city, not a county. So what we're going to do is I'm going to search Casper, Wyoming County. All right. And what came up, and let me go ahead and start sharing my screen just so you can we can throw this in the video for you guys. So I searched Casper, Wyoming, and I just put county because I don't know what county it is. So it turns out that it's Natrona County. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that county name, and I'm going to search Natrona County property search. I'm just going to start there, right? I'm going to just look to see, what can I get from the county? It's the very first place because I know that I can easily watch this website, right? Even if it's a VA, okay? So property search, I'm just going to look to see how much up to date they are. Did you hear? New property search tool available. Check them out here. All right, cool. Looks like they're updating. Assessor property search, treasury tax bill search. I like the sound of taxes. I've never been on this website before. I'm just using my general intuition, okay, to try to figure out where something might be. All right, so it looks like treasurer tax bill takes us to be able to search a property address, a unit number. Is there any place where I could choose reports or something? So right now we have location, okay? Now we're trying to find source. We're trying to figure out, okay, can I just get this straight from the county? That's my source, because it's always going to be the most up-to-date. Always start with as close to the source as humanly possible. Just like if you're speaking of 72 hours, right? That shows about kids or murders happening or something like that, and they have 72 hours to solve the case. What do they always do? If you're an investigator, you always go closest to the source. Okay, we're the best friends or the family members. You always go closest to the source because they're typically going to know the most, right? So we're doing the same thing. We're going straight to the county. I'm looking to see if there's any way to get information. I'm not seeing anything here. I can see that I can search mobile homes, duplexes, and condos, residentials. But if I were just to search that information right now, I would not get. I would get the property address, but I wouldn't necessarily get my two keys, right? Urgency and need. So I want things that have both of those. So some of the lists that have both of those are going to be tax delinquency, foreclosures, things like that. Things that have basically a bill racking up and an expiration date, okay? Meaning a time that the seller is going to lose their property. So let's go ahead and maybe we go back to the main site here and maybe let's just call them. I see I have the geo, so here's tax payments again. Let's open that up and see if that's the same website. Okay, the assessor's office, treasurer's office. So let's do the assessor's office and let's see if we can't call them and see if we can't talk to somebody really quick that might be able to tell us how to get this list, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just dial the assessor's office. 235. 9444. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear this or not, but let's see what they say. Take a sip of coffee. Make sure they know we're professional.
Natrona County Assessor's Office, this is Nicole.
Hey, Nicole, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. I was given a call because I was trying to get a hold of someone in that handles like the tax auctions in Wyoming. In what is this? Natrona. I'm going to mess up the name. Natrona County.
Yeah, Natrona.
Natrona.
Okay. It's a mineral that's relevant here. So.
Oh, really?
The treasurer's office is the one that handles all of that. So
Okay.
I'll get you guys right down to them. Okay, hold on.
Hey, thank you so much.
Treasurer's office.
Hey, how's it going? This is Tyler Austin. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. I was given a call to try to see if I can't find out if it's possible in the county there to get a list of the current properties that are going to tax auction, or to see what is slotted for tax auction.
Yep, we're all in the paper this weekend.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I accidentally covered the speaker.
That's okay. They were all in the newspaper.
Okay, so it hits the newspapers.
Yep.
Okay, I'm out of state. I live in Florida, but I was looking at that county and interested in starting to do some investments in there, and I was just trying to figure out how to. Is it only in person that the auctions happen for taxes, or is there an online auction site?
Yeah, so it's definitely we're doing it online. You do not have to be in person. If you go to the Natrona County website, it'll give you instructions as far as how our tax sale is working.
Okay.
I can tell you that it's done lottery style, so you will enter, and from there, on the 16th, when we run our sale, it's just luck of the draw.
Okay. Oh, really? So, like, it's not like you bid once and then bid again and then bid back and forth. It's like you bid, you make one final bid. Oh, wow.
Yep. If you go to the natronacounty-wy.gov.
Okay.
And you'll find it underneath the treasurer's page. We'll give you all the information as far as the tax sale and what we do.
Okay.
It's lottery and it's random.
Okay, I see it here. But is there no way to view besides the physical paper? I'm guessing, is there like an online paper or something like that?
Yep, it's the Casper Star Tribune.
Casper Star Tribune?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Now, is there any way to like know what's going to the auction before it actually gets slotted for auction, by any chance?
As far as if it...
Yeah.
So the list will give you what's available, and then when you get when we run the sale and you get your individual list, and so that could be one property, it could be 20 properties. You just don't know until you get there.
Right.
You have an option to research them and then reject them or accept them.
Okay.
From there.
So basically, like what I do in Florida right now is I typically try to help the seller before it gets to this point. So like, let's just say in the state of Florida, it's 3 years. If you're delinquent for 3 years, that's when you go to auction. So I try to help them at like the 2-year point. So if I see they're delinquent for 2 years straight, then I'll reach out to them and I'll see if I can't help them out and, maybe even let them stay in the property.
Right. So the difference here is the property's not for auction. Ours is honestly just taxes. A lien is placed. They have 4 years to redeem that lien, and then the lien holder can apply for tax deed.
Oh, I see. So basically you're just paying up the taxes and you hold the deed and you're going to get interest on it. Okay. Yep. I see what you're saying. Perfect. So it's really the same scenario then that's here, except for it never actually goes to auction. So you're a tax deed state. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, I really appreciate the information. I got the, it looks like trib.com or something up right now, so I appreciate it.
I think so. Okay,
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. Had a wonderful day. All right. Bye. Okay. So never dealt with them before. You can see that I gathered information. I asked questions. I was really respectful, trying not to, I noticed that she didn't want to answer too many questions. She was getting a little bit, so I kind of took the questions off of her, explained what I did so that she can better, we can move that pretty quickly along. But I can see here that the trib.com is the website. And I could probably narrow down and search for it on here with whatever the auctions happens here. I would have to dig a little bit deeper. I'm gonna go ahead and divert over to see if I can't find anything maybe about the code enforcement, because I did see that was there. I can see I can file a complaint online. I can see there's some regulations, so I'm gonna try and call them to file an anonymous complaint. Please call blank. I'm wondering if maybe I can't just get a list of current properties that are nuisance properties. Maybe that would help. I might have to send an email. So let's go ahead and try and call these. I know that we're kind of, you know, running a little long here, but you know, this is kind of interesting here. 235-9447. Oh shoot, that's for the complaint. I don't want to make a complaint. Let's try and do planning and zoning. 307-235-9447. Oh, that's the same people I just called, I think. Address assessment, flood planning, site plan, subdivision, zone changes. Code enforcement. I wish there was a way for me to call the code enforcements directly. Okay, that website don't work no more. Mason really gave me a doozy. Gave me a good doozy here. I'm gonna go ahead and try and call this number. Let's see what we get. If we don't get it here, we'll press on. You guys got the point. Okay, you got the scenario.
This call may be monitored. Thank you.
Hi, how's it going? This is Tyler Austin. I was given a call because I was looking to try to get in touch with somebody in the code enforcement department to just ask a few questions. I'm out of state and I was looking to try to find some properties that might be getting flagged as, you know, maybe they're not being taken care of, or they might seem vacant or overgrown and stuff like that, because I'm trying to find a place to move to over there. And because I typically flip properties, I figured might as well try and see if you guys know of any that need those code enforcement taxes paid and all that good stuff. So if you can't give me a call back. Mason's gonna have to bleep my number out of this video. This was supposed to be a quick one, but apparently it might not be. It might be a little longer. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and press forward though, because I could continue going down this hole, and that's exactly what you would do. You would continue trying to find the type of list, the source. Code enforcements are great, tax delinquencies are great. If you can't find it in your local market, again, I had him give me a random one. I'm guessing he might have visited there at some point. Simply because, I wanted to show you that you can literally just Google it and just start the teeter tot, right? Likewise, what I could do, okay, and what I'm gonna show you real quick before we move on is I'm actually just gonna literally go to Propstream, okay? I'm gonna go to Propstream and I'm gonna show you that we could just start off right now with just getting some Propstream data. We don't have to worry too much about having to get from the county. If it's taking too long to get it from the county, like it's difficult, don't not start. Okay, start working, start doing something, and then once you figure out how to get that data from the other location, whether it be from the newspapers or whatever, then let's go ahead and start marketing. Okay, let's go ahead and start doing it that way. Natrona County. So we're going to search Natrona County, Wyoming. I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to choose my filter, and I'm going to narrow down by deceased owners. And boom, I got 247. 247. I'm gonna select those and I'm gonna download them, okay? That's exactly the next thing. So, and I would basically do this weekly. So I would watch for weekly deaths, right? Which sounds super messed up. Some people call you ambulance chaser or whatever, but you gotta remember, like, hey, you're helping these individuals through situations that are really difficult, okay? So you could do it with the deceased. You could do it with, foreclosures. We could do it with, tons of different options that they give. Divorces. Maybe we're doing divorces. You could do it with tax delinquencies. There's 4,940 tax delinquencies. Get that initial data set and start working through it, and then start pulling that data in weekly or monthly. Okay, and you just basically filter by it and then just export it. And then when you upload it to REISift, it's gonna give you the differences, okay? And you're gonna continue to learn that through this, okay? So schedule, how do you know what the schedule is? I was really hoping to really be able to talk to one of the code enforcement individuals. If I talk to them, what I would ask them is, how often do you update this list? If they say, well, we pull them daily, or if we pull them monthly, or we pull them weekly, then it's like, okay, would it be troublesome if I were to send an email every week just to get an updated list, or is it something that you would rather me do monthly, or is there any way to automate this for me? And so you can kind of figure out the cadence and the schedule based off of when that data is being updated. For example, in the state of Florida, tax auctions, right, they typically happen every 3 months or so, depending on what's going on in the county. You just got to watch it. But tax delinquencies, like the tax delinquent list, it comes out annually. So there's no difference. Like in January versus July, nothing has changed, okay? The only thing that has changed is what properties end up going to auction out of the 3-year delinquency. Sometimes they do it in the first quarter, second quarter, whatever the case is. So you got to learn and ask the questions for the schedule, for whatever that pace is that that you're really looking to bring that data in weekly or monthly or quarterly. And as you'll see, this video that I'm doing right now is actually part of a diagram that we're building out to make this even simpler for you in an operations standpoint. You can click the link in the description below and it'll actually take you to a landing page that shows the whole sequence. Step 1, which is what you're on right now. Step 2, which is going to be automating this whole flow and process. And then step 3 is downloading that diagram and then implementing it so that you can bring in this data and then have a nice flow and process to visualize where that data is at in its life cycle. Because the last thing you want is a deal falling through the cracks simply because you didn't know it existed or you didn't have a place for it to belong because you just got the list and then just marketed to it and then that was that. You want to be able to click on, okay, marketed to it 3 times, 4 times, and so you know where that needs to go and how you can capitalize, because one of the biggest reasons why companies can't scale and one of the most important reasons why they can never gain clarity is simply because they don't have the right operations in place. But that's why we're here, right? We're going to help you guys make sure you put the right things in place to have the clarity and the vision so that your team can be more confident in how they're producing results for your company. So appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, reach out to our team at reisift.io. Otherwise, check the links in the description of all the free resources and all the things that we do for you guys to try and help you be more successful, turning more prospects to leads and more leads to revenue. Peace.